Hi, my name is Shauna, in case you don't know, and the hellacious year of 2020 is finally over. It's 2021, and now I'm going to be doing something that I haven't really done before, which is that I'm setting New Year's resolutions for myself. Oh my. I don't know what that is. What the frick? Does this mean that something bad is going to happen in 2021 because it's happening during my New Year's resolution video? What is that? Oh my gosh. I am going to try to ignore that because I am an adult. I can handle this type of stuff. Okay, so there's a cat right there, so it's not my cat's eyes. I'm just gonna try to ignore that. So the reason for me setting New Year's resolutions for 2021 is because in 2020 I don't really feel like I accomplished much. Like, yes, I did complete a few college courses, but not that many. And yeah, I became closer with my friends. But like, other than that, I don't feel like I really accomplished anything for myself that much, and my self-care. I didn't prioritize myself, and I also feel like sometimes I was really distant from other people, and so my goals are going to be centering around these things. So things that will make me feel accomplished, things that will help me take care of myself and focus on myself, and things that might help me to become less distant when it comes to interacting with other people, because while I did get close to some people this year, I got farther apart from other people. So let's just crack on into my New Year's resolutions. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to finish the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. Now this year I did a lot of reading, but I feel like a lot of my reading wasn't as satisfying as what it's been in previous years. I didn't really finish that many series, if any at all. I think I finished like one series this year, and I didn't really feel satisfied with most of the books that I was reading. I felt really disappointed by them, and I really wanted something more from what I was reading. And so my reason for choosing the Mortal Instruments to focus on finishing is because, first of all, there's only 2 books left in that series I need to read, or possibly 3, which isn't a ton of books, so it's a reasonable goal for me. The other thing is I really enjoyed the Mortal Instruments series when I read it in the past, when I read the first 4 or 3 books in the past. So if I finish that series, then there's a high probability that I will like those books, and I really get a feeling of accomplishment when I finish a book series, and it really feels good to me. And so this is the first of my resolutions to prioritize myself and prioritize my own interests. Hopefully I can remember the books well enough to continue the series on its own, because if not, I don't really know what I'm gonna do. Maybe I'll try and watch some of the TV show or the movie, I don't know. But yeah, this is my first New Year's resolution for 2021. My next New Year's resolution is to watch season 2 of The Umbrella Academy. So what happened with The Umbrella Academy is that I was planning on watching it literally the day that I came out and to binge it all in that day. But the issue that happened was that I ended up in the hospital the day that season 2 came out, so I didn't get a chance to watch it, and I've been having a hard time focusing on TV and watching TV shows that I really want to watch. I find that most of the time I'm on my phone, so TV and watching shows is a way of self-care for me, and it's a way to find enjoyment in life. And so I'm gonna try to finish season 2 of Umbrella Academy because I know I like that show, and I know that I like watching TV, and yeah, if I prioritize watching season 2 of Umbrella Academy, then hopefully I'll feel some joy, and hopefully I'll feel like I'm taking care of myself and my interest, if this is making any sense. I'm just really like realizing that I honestly have not been caring for myself this year, and I really should be focusing on that more in the new year. Also, when I say this year, it still feels like 2020, so I'm saying like this year referring to 2020, 2021 would be next year or the upcoming year. I don't know if I'm making any sense. Hopefully you understand what I'm saying. My next goal is to read at least 3 nonfiction books. This is less focusing on me as a human, but more like focusing on my understanding of the world and my ability to like empathize with other people and understand different like scientific concepts and understand different people's histories and backgrounds. I want to be a more open-minded person, and I want to be interested in more parts of the world, and I want to be able to connect to people who are different than me. I want to prioritize reading nonfiction books that I can really have a deep understanding of people who are very different from me, and a deep understanding of different sciences and things like that that are important in this world that I'm not as familiar with. So that's why I want to read some nonfiction books. I have a couple in mind that I might want to read, like Becoming by Michelle Obama and probably some other ones. When I read nonfiction, I mostly read autobiographies, but maybe I'll branch out and try something else too. I feel like there's a lot of history that I don't know yet, so when I say nonfiction, there's so many different things I could read about that can just open my understanding of the world a little more. The next thing I want to do is I want to take a walk once every week or more. The reason for this is because exercise is really good for you, and I've not been that great at exercising this year. In my defense, I do have a chronic illness, so sometimes I'm too weak to go on walks, but I really need to prioritize on exercising more, and I've heard that with POTS, if you start exercising out slowly, then you can get more strength back and you can exercise more, and I think I should be trying to focus on my health, and I've heard that sometimes exercise can help with POTS symptoms, so maybe by prioritizing taking a walk at least once every week, I will be starting to feel a tiny bit better and a tiny bit stronger, and maybe it'll make conventions easier for me, because conventions in person, which aren't happening right now because of the pandemic, are very hard for me, and I often have to use my wheelchair. But maybe if I go on a walk once a week, maybe I can try and walk a little more at conventions instead of using my wheelchair as often. My next resolution is to buy less books each month than what I read. I'm not someone who is good at prioritizing money, and I really should work on that. It's a skill that a lot of people need when they're an adult, so they don't just spend all of the money that they have. I think this is particularly important for me because I personally can't work because of my disability, and so I think I should try and work on money management, and that's like one simple step that I want to do. Like if I read 3 books that month, I'll only buy myself 2 books. Now it doesn't count if I win a book from like a giveaway. I'm not going to count that in my total because I didn't spend actual money on that. But ideally I want to try and read more books and then what I buy every month. The next thing I want to do is a way that I want to connect with other people a little more, which is that I want to respond to each message that I receive within 3 days of when I receive it. I am someone who is terrible at responding to messages, and it has really impacted my friendships recently. I have some friends who I've realized are very kind and patient with me and are okay with me responding late, and I really appreciate those of you who are like that. But I think as a whole I need to work on getting better at responding to messages quicker. I think responding quicker could allow me to talk to people more because it would give more opportunities for them to respond and not feel awkward responding because I responded so late. And I think it could also give the chance to just show people that I care about them more, because some people probably think I'm ignoring their messages when I'm really not. I have 2 things going on. First of all, I'm very forgetful in the short term. If you send me a message, I sometimes will forget that you sent me a message until a week later, because my long-term memory is really good and short-term is just lacking, which is really frustrating. I know I'm like Dory from Finding Nemo. And the other thing is that I have really bad anxiety, and I just really need to work on my anxiety more, because I really need to work on engaging with other people more in a more productive and quicker way, I'd say. The next thing I want to do is I want to repair some of my clothes that have holes in them. I want to aim to repair 4 of them. I'm actually wearing a pants with holes in it right now. Basically, the situation is that when I get holes in clothes and it's clothes that I actually care about, I just toss them in a box, and I've been sitting in my room and they've just been sitting there for a year or 2, and I really need to get around to sewing them and fixing them. And I think that I'm also prioritizing trying to learn something that I want to do, which is sewing. I've always wanted to sew. I've always wanted to be good at it, and I think that if I focus on just repairing some clothes that I have before I start sewing a big cosplay outfit, I think that that would be a good first step to learning how to sew, and I think it would help get rid of the clothes that I just have piled up in the corner in my room. My final New Year's resolution is something about my health, and that is that I want to prioritize taking vitamin D at least once a week. And I know I'm supposed to be taking it more than once a week. The issue with vitamin D, at least for me, is that I have to take it with a food, and so it's really hard to remember when to take it because I try and aim for it midday, but I just always forget because I suck at midday and morning medications. And I want to try to do it on a more regular basis, even though it's only once a week. But I think that's a great way to prioritize my health and my mental health, because vitamin D is really important for depression, those type of things. If you live anywhere near me, which I know a bunch of you don't live near me, but in the Pacific Northwest where I live, which is Oregon, then we have to prioritize taking vitamin D supplements because we don't get enough sun here, and a lot of us are vitamin D deficient here. So yeah, those were all my New Year's resolutions for 2021. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to me if you haven't already. I upload new videos every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday on my YouTube channel, so stick around for more fun videos like this one. I'll hopefully remember to do a video in December of 2021 where I'll be talking about how good I was about sticking to my New Year's resolutions. And yeah, I hope all of you have a safe and happy start to your new year, and I'll see all of you in my next video. Bye!